Now, for the first time, Nebraska has to get the season back on track. An historic year continues here at Rutgers. Big Ten basketball spot. Starting lineups brought to you by Venmo. Rutgers, Tariq Francis has been so great off the bench, but he's starting for the first time today since mid-December. It's their 8th difference weeks. Underway, and it's the Scarlet Knights basketball. They went out west after taking Michigan State off the bench the last 4. Freshman Caden Powers steps back. He had a massive first half at UCLA, and he's still.
A lot of what he's doing is just catch and shoot, but getting involved early in the offense is good.
And Hoiberg, the lane opened wide, and he is hurt. 13.6 assist outing with 6 rebounds. The loss to Illinois at home last weekend. Zerno, beautiful the last couple of seasons. Certainly this year as well. Great mask with the floater in the lane and an early 4-3 lead.
But all that is a little short roll. Take advantage of that opportunity, and that's exactly what Ringmass did there by finding the soft spot.
He missed his first 8 shots last weekend. Powers, the aggression.
First half, they stuck with UCLA a little bit, but overall, just a big part of them getting off to a good start. And that's a big part for Nebraska to getting off to a good start is Ringmass.
About that in the pregame with Dave Redson. That Ringmass the last 6 games, just 18% from 3.
Yeah, and it's really hurt the spacing for Nebraska. There you see Sam.
Huskers started the season 20-0. They are top 10 for a program record 5th straight week. And Darren Buchanan, about that at the outset, they didn't rebound well at Michigan or at home against Illinois on Sunday.
No, they're all rebound by 12 in those last 2 games, and that's what they've got to do. Great cut there by Lawrence. Just understanding if you.
So the sophomore is the 2nd leading scorer for Rutgers. Going to go to the bench. Marcus Lawrence. They can handle winning games back-to-back. He's interested in finding out how they handle losing games back-to-back.
I think
Davis on the floor for the first time. Bryce George checked in for Dylan Grant. First shot attempt for Francis, and he drills a 3. The instant bucket.
He averages 20 points.
Back to Hoiberg. Sanford's first attempt, and that rattles through. Husk.
Well, the toughest thing is how early in the offense that comes. Yes, play fast, get some fast break points, but understand when.
Mass draws the foul because he was having all the pain in his stomach from consistent vomiting. He's had some time to get some weight back, get his health back. George with the block. Rutgers trying to push Buchanan into the front court. High off the glass to tie it. Dale Jacobson on the floor along with Frager. They've gone to the bench here early in this ballgame. Nash thought there was help. He waited.
That made me the happiest of shot fake. He didn't need the shot fake, though. That made me happy.
Buchanan didn't take one. He finished, and they'll go back to the line. And they wanted a foul. Instead, it's a 3-on-2 Nebraska break. Hoiberg pulled up for 3, and Tariq Francis pushed. Here this afternoon with Paul Sells, Brian Dorsey, and Earl Walton. Newton Gel caught it in over the weight again. 3 straight possessions. Sanford on the other end, and he finishes. And to your point, that is 3
to guard against, especially against this Nebraska team.
Frager on the drive. Great footwork. Just couldn't finish. Cannon have scored all 16 here for the Scarlet Knights. 4 to shoot. Francis stepped inside the arc. It hit every part of the rim and fell down.
From 3, but 12 points early in the paint in this game, and I think that's been a focal point for this.
He had 5 free throw attempts last weekend in the game at home against Illinois. Didn't shoot a lot at Michigan.
Ball down.
So Buchanan to the bench with 2 fouls. Dylan Grant has been on the bench for Rutgers after 3 minutes into this game with 2 fouls. Buchanan just kind of threw it. Well, Bole got his hand on it, and they will count it.
Let's go offensively here. Work through this dribble handoff action with Ringmass. See if you can get him involved. Create the roll there, which creates a wide open look. That is a great, simple, good. And you look at the 2 losses, Michigan, Illinois. It's all little things, and I think that's the biggest thing. That's too easy defensively, though. You have to make sure that there was a ducking, so that's bonus.
4 to shoot. Mass steps back. Launch. No. Huskers so
has the results.
Takes the 3. And he hits.
And again, just understanding spacing.
Best of his career by far.
Well, over his last 6 games, he's averaged 12.5, shooting 61%, getting 5.5 rebounds. Like, he's such a big part of what they're
alone. Those are the threes they normally hit.
They're the threes they normally hit, but we talked with Coach Peichel as well. Defensively for Rutgers, just clean up the glass. There's 2 offensive rebounds. And they've got it for Rutgers. They got to find ways to score easy points. They're defensively.
Grant trying to drive. Sam Hoiberg is right there in the right spot again. Nebraska this year set to be such a massive part of it. And what a storyline they will be wherever they go in the NCAA tournament. Ranked Mass.
It's about getting easy baskets for this Rutgers team to kind of get them going.
Lawrence, the New Jersey native, sticks a second 3.
And I just said the last 3-some minutes.
It was a 4-point game for the better part of the half. Is now that 13-point deficit making.
Now Nebraska has it. So can Rutgers guard for the next 15 seconds here and get us another stop?
The other part for Nebraska here is Sanford goes to work down low. That's short. As we're in the final minute here of this first half. 9th-ranked Huskers. Sanford pulls up.
Team that only averages 10.
Huskers gonna hold for the final shot. It's massed along the baseline, floats it in. Nothing happened in terms of collision or anything like that. He went back to the locker room, didn't come back late in the first half. Sanford right away hits a 3.
Well, like, you can't lose him.
He is now up to 79 threes on the year. 6th most Nebraska history in a single season.
Goal and expand upon it.
Good help there from Obole. He left Hoiberg alone at the top of the arc. He buries a 3.
As far as the Big Ten goes is, 3-point percentage, and there's 2 wide open looks for Nebraska.
Zerno off the quick pass. Those are his first points. So here's the thing.
Rutgers offense, just to kind of get that stop offensively, what they've been doing. You know what he wants to do. He wants to do. There he goes underneath the screen, and lucky, and it stays here with the full 40 minutes and not taking shortcuts.
Now, their ability to get him some shots here early in the second half. That was a struggle last week, right off the inbound. That. Bowers got Buchengel on his heels, and he is starting to really come into his own.
Yes, some of these freshmen stick around long enough within the program because the development that Coach Peichel and his staff do for these players is huge. And you look at a guy like Caleb McCullough.
Huskers led by 14 at the break. They're up by 16, and Hoiberg makes it 19. His 3rd triple.
The way that he rebounds the ball at the guard spot, he does everything for this team without ever needing the ball.
Yep. Great ball movement.
Play with the Sam Hoiberg because you know everything that he does, he's going to make the right play. He's going to make the right play for the team. And there you saw Rutgers going in his zone, and Price, the liability you have is from the 3-point line, and Nebraska makes you pay again.
You would have thought first half, hey, Rutgers felt like they did a good job. He was 1 of 4 from extra move. That went off of Lawrence's shoulder all the way across. Zerno threw it to no one. The changing landscape. They have a lot of players, not everyone, but a lot of players who have worn that uniform for 2, 3, 4 seasons. And now, again, not that anyone expects.
Healthy squad against Michigan and against Illinois, because I think the results are a little bit different in what they're able to do, and the conversation's a little bit different. But there's a great 3 by Zerno. But there's a big game against Purdue coming up, and then you've got a stretch that you try to stack wins and get to that 2 seed in the NCAA tournament and see what happens.
George was standing
deep of a run, but this team can make an extremely deep run in the NCAA tournament.
Sanford turned the corner, and a beautiful find, and Buchengel at the finish. Just the event, right? That when they made the tournament a couple years ago, they are not quite as good defensively. That's been a different story. They have been a much better defensive team this season.
Careful, because you can't just pick out a guy and say, we need to stop this guy.
High floater, Dylan Grant's bucket. That is his first better here in the second half. but the lead has grown from 14 to 18.
I think that's been the toughest thing with Rutgers is defensively, can you get enough stop? There's great drive there.
Grant, and he's fouled. So they get a couple of stops, and now Dylan Grant will be at the free throw line to try and get points on. Dylan Grant, a 75% free throw shooter, hits the first. And this is what you were talking about, Brian.
Yeah, I was going to say it's ridiculous. But it's the way that they share the basketball. And we've talked about Rutgers needing to stack.
Stops, 10-minute mark, halfway through the second half. Can they make it dent? Powers, and Dortch wasn't ready for it.
And Powers had a great little head fake.
Mass had 13 points in the first half. He has only scored 2 here in the second half.
Oh, that ball to post. Get a nice post move by Rick Mass. Score the 2 points. Stop the runs.
Grant stopped at the free throw line, hit it, and he was fouled.
On to the bat.
All 7 points for Dylan Grant have come here in the second half. Double on Sanford. They were ready for him to shoot. This time they got the bigger body of Obole, and it didn't matter.
The escape of going to the block and a player like Rick Mast who can slow down the game and still score is huge.
Buchanan on the answer on the drop was perfect. Looking on Obole over the right shoulder, and that rolled in.
And Rutgers is doing what they.
Well, that felt like that would have been a big 3 if it went down. Instead, it's Davis stepping through, coast to coast for Jamaica. That has been the stop plug. It's been Rick Mast. Instead, it's Obole who can't stay with the freshman Fragrant.
He's got the jump hook going.
8 in the shot clock. Bonalo on the floor for the first time. He draws him to go. Time starting to slip away. The Scarlet Knights with Tariq Francis back on the floor.
Only 10 points on the afternoon here, too.
All of those in the Bonalo.
Well, and you look at Francis all in the first half, and again, started the game. When he started, he averages 11.5. When he comes off the paint, or off the bench, it's 20.
For the year, he's come off the bench the last 13. Tariq Francis did get the start today. Frager, no. Mass tipped it home. 20.
The tone and saying we're going to play through the post a little bit more than we have.
Francis showed the aggression, and a timeout taken. Steve Peichel with 4
by Nebraska.
And Hoiberg's ability to just stop on a dime. Sanford, I mean, the footwork, and that was something that Rutgers worked on in practice all day. And it has not mattered who Rutgers threw at Rink Mass, whether it was Obole or Buchanan or Grant. That one he kind of just threw up there, did not hit the rim. And so it is going. I mean, you're not putting any more pressure on them than they will already have.
Absolutely. No, this basketball team is really good, and they're fun to watch.
It was a 14-point game at the half, and Rutgers has not gotten closer than 13 here this afternoon in the second half. Francis is fouled on Rutgers. So they've had such a difficult stretch in part of January and February, but they'll start to see some of the teams that are at least near where they are in the standings here the next couple of weeks.
It's so important to understand, hey, we've got to get Rink going a little bit. Here's a way to do it. We know he wants to get to the block, do different things, and sure enough, that's what he was able to do.
Nebraska. Hoiberg commits the foul, so Tariq Francis will be at the explode. He had not scored since the opener of the season, and they were ready for that.
The group is mature enough to handle that.
Alaro the steal, he floats it in. It's a 10-point game, so a little bit of fight here down the stretch. Of the season. For the first time in school history, the Huskers win 6 conference games away from home in the same year. Program record for Frank.
With a pretty dominant performance here. That's what good teams do. This Nebraska team is a really good team. Going on the road, winning 6 conference road wins.